And there we finally were, landing in Kabul International Airport, Afghanistan. This trip started meeting my dad in Dubai and taking the same fly-to-by flight to Kabul, which was a great experience. Once we landed, immigration was smooth, we filled in a form, everyone was helpful, and then we had to take a picture. We then met up with our local tour guide outside the airport and hopped into our car that we would have for the next 5 days, a trusted Toyota Corolla. Driving down the streets of Kabul was nothing like we could have imagined. Clean streets and a lively environment. There were a few things that we had to do upon arrival in Kabul. Number 1, get local Afghanis, get the shalwar kameez, and check into our hotel. We made our way to the money exchange. Our exchange rate was 75.5 Afghanis for $1.
Yalla, show me the money. How much the money, Jacob? 7?
75.5.
For?
75.
Oh. For?
$100.
Oh, yeah, of course, you need commission.
Also to note, $100 bills gets you a better rate than lower denominations.
We booked ourselves in a 5-star, super nice hotel, the Serena, from the Serena Group. And our first day, we had to get into the rhythm of the Afghani people, buying a shalwar kameez and, of course, a fur hat. Our dress was measured up. Within 2 hours, our dresses were ready, and we had to pay, I think, $15 or $20 each. I mean, that was completely nothing. We were visiting the old street. The houses left and right from the Kabul River were beautiful houses. And we found out that 100 years ago, beginning of 1900, these houses were owned mostly by Jewish families who specialized in the fur trade and the Karakul breed of sheep. The Karakul breed of sheep is interesting because it has a very nice structure, and the pelts are harvested when the lambs are maybe even a day old, or maybe even fetal Karakul lambs. That's actually very crazy, but beautiful. We saw a lot of pelts, a lot of artisan work, different sizes. It was not so easy to find a hat size for Jacob, because he has a big head. Anyway, we then also came across a very nice fur hat. Most of the time we have worn that, and that was from a mountain wolf. Beautiful. Also, the Karakul pelts were used with many studied people about 100 years ago. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, for example, had one. Muhammad Karzai had one. And of course, in grey. And we needed to have also a grey one for our collection. This grey, typical tapered hat was actually very popular in Mazar-e-Sharif. And that's exactly where we wanted to go. The night we have pulao, Kabuli pulao. It was very tasty, but oh so fatty.
Since we were only in Afghanistan for 5 days, we had to be smart with our time, and we knew we really wanted to watch Buzkhasi. When we were talking with our tour guide before we came to Afghanistan, we were told that typically it's late in the season and it would only be played in the north in Mazar. Mazar is around 10 hours driving from Kabul, so we made the decision to go fly there. When we arrived in Kabul, we were notified that our flight got cancelled. Still determined to watch Buzkhasi, me and my dad, we made the choice to leave at 4 a.m. the next day.
That was the best decision. Jacob, with his, I don't know, probably it's glued to his body, but that's his little silver Rimowa. That one had to stay behind. I don't know if he had tears in his eyes, but the luggage couldn't come with us. The car was too small. We left it in the hotel, we got the receipt. Now we are 4 o'clock in the morning. The hotel made a very nice breakfast package, and we went with the Corolla, and Ajmal was already waiting there with his Toyota Corolla. Amazing strong car. And our guide, Fayaz. On the road to Mazar-e-Sharif, we had many places to stop. We had excellent kebab, tikka, super nice food. Not so much vegetables, but a lot of meat. Also for the days to come. Anyway, I think Jacob has seen enough lamb and sheep. So he started to demand murgi, papa. I like murgi, chicken, which was also very good. We arrived around 2 o'clock, just before the game of Buzkhasi. And I will tell a little bit more about that. But that we left at 4 o'clock. That was a long drive through tunnels and trucks and dust and potholes. Also, it was interesting. Near Kabul, the government did a lot of improvement on the roads. However, on the way to Mazar-e-Sharif, there were still very bad patches. Hey Jacob, hè? Ja. Oh, bevriest het? Oh, In Mazar-e-Sharif, we were getting ready for Buzkhasi, which literally means goat pulling. The old days, the goat was slaughtered before the game. There were two teams, and they had to pick up the goat from the ground on their horses and drag it with them to the opponent's like a goal. Nowadays, the government says we don't do that anymore with precious food. They have a prop and they have a fake calf or goat. And it was amazing to see how everybody was chanting and screaming for the teams. And that was probably the crazy thing which you normally can only see in the winter, and that's why we decided to go to Mazar-e-Sharif, because we wanted to see this Buzkhasi, and we got treated like they have never seen foreigners. We were put on very nice spots to watch the game. I was allowed to stand close to the horses on the grounds. The Taliban is actually very strict and was pushing everybody and hitting them with pieces of rope to make sure that the field is cleared for the game. They almost hit me, but when they saw my face, they thought like, oops, no, this one we will not going to hit. After the game, we were interviewed by a news channel. We'll share that with you. It was actually quite funny.
هموطنان عزیز، امروز در میدان بزکشی شهر مزار شریف ما دوستان بیرونی داریم. مهمانان بسیار خوب خارجی داریم. یکی از کجا هستن؟ من دقیق نمیفهم، ولی علاقمندان بزکشی هستن. همراهشان معرفی میشیم. السلام علیکم. Hi, how are you?
عليكم السلام كيف الحال؟
Thank you. Are you fine?
We are very fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Thank you. And I want to know your name.
My name is Jacob.
Muhammad Yaqub.
No, Jacob.
Just Yaqub.
Just Jacob.
In Afghani, we have Muhammad Yaqub. And your name?
Yaqub.
Yaqub?
Yeah.
Oh?
And my father's name?
Uh-huh.
Jacob.
Yaqub.
So Jacob ben Jacob.
Yes, we have here two Yaqub.
Correct.
Two Jacob.
You are
correct.
both Yaqub.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Yes.
You are welcome in Afghanistan.
No, thank you very much. We feel very welcome.
Uh-huh.
Yes, thank you.
And from where you came here?
Well, we have been traveling a lot. And we've never been to Afghanistan because everybody tells us, don't go. And I said, actually he said, Papa, let's go to Afghanistan. So then we prepare ourselves and we have a great time. It's amazing.
Oh,
The
thank
people
you.
in Afghanistan are so friendly.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Which country you
We're
came?
not going to tell. We're not going to tell. No, we are originally.
You can tell.
Yeah, he can tell.
Originally from the Netherlands,
But
Netherlands. Oh. You are most welcome.
but we're born and we live in Bahrain.
Oh,
born in Bahrain.
very good.
Bahraini boy.
And
Arabistan.
yes, and you like the horses?
Fantastic, unbelievable. We see very beautiful horses and extremely skilled riders.
Yes.
That's something incredible.
Did you see or try the riding of horses?
No, he just did here.
Oh,
Just
very
small.
nice, very nice.
But we ride in Holland.
Uh-huh. Yes.
We ride in Bahrain. We don't dare to ride here. It's too-
Very welcome. Thank you very much.
And all the
And,
best with your channel.
Yes, and we can have a photo, a picture.
No, photo not allowed. Only video.
After the game, we headed over towards the Blue Mosque. This shrine reportedly houses the tomb of Caliph Ali, the first Imam of Shia Muslims.
Jacob.
After walking around and taking some pictures, we made our way to dinner. We went to a family restaurant that serves only mantu. Mantu is an Afghan dumpling. After dinner, I knew I wanted to try shirya ice cream. Even though it was winter and our tour guide said it might be a bit difficult to find, we ended up finding it.
What are you making?
Here.
Oh, mashallah. What? What?
May I have frozen milk? Cardamom. Cardamom taste.
Cardamom taste.
Yeah, very nice.
With the almond.
Yeah. Heel lekker.
For us, it reminded us a bit of kulfi.
And then we stepped in the car and went to our hotel, which was okay. And that's maybe the maximum. But strangely enough, the next morning when we woke up and we saw our resting heart rate, it improved by 5-6 beats per minute. And why was that? Because Mazar-e-Sharif is actually at 200 meters above sea level, and Kabul is about 1,700, 1,800 meter above sea level. So yeah, that was interesting. We never realized that Mazar-e-Sharif was that low in Afghanistan. The people in Afghanistan are really super friendly. Everybody went out to please us, to do the extra thing. We never felt threatened. The Taliban were very friendly. We were taking pictures with them. And of course, it's not easy to understand what all the rules are. But when I saw what was going on with 3 years now under the rule of the Taliban, I saw roads improvement, no garbage on the streets. It was clean. No flying plastic bags, which you normally see everywhere. Now, that was something spectacular. Big projects. On the road, we saw a lot of big machines, excavators, Devlon. That was also something which I found out later. There are very big dam projects near Herat. But that's for the next time.
On the way back to Kabul from Mazar, we passed by a breakfast place which makes bread with milk instead of water.
Yeah, it's
Huh?
fresh.
This fresh?
It's fresh.
Sure? Thank you. Excellento.
And then we passed by an old palace. Don't remember the name, and I tried to Google it, but I can't find it. It was used as an old Soviet Union base camp. Nowadays, there's just a few Taliban members that keep watch, and it was really beautiful.
Now, this is hot wired by the second owner.
Nice.
After some saffron tea, we hit the road again on the way back to Kabul.
You know, when we were driving all the way to Mazar-e-Sharif, we see all type of cars, but not many new cars, obviously. Afghanistan is still a very poor country, but I am still, to every time, amazed. Even when I'm driving in Holland, I see more garbage on the streets in Holland than I saw in Kabul. It's really fascinating. And people take really care of their cars. I hear about the Paso cars. They're costing about $2,500, they told me. How is that possible? A car of 2009, 2006. And then, what we understood, they buy them from Singapore. They get cut up in pieces, probably in Malaysia. They put in a container, completely filled to the brim with car pieces. They get smuggled from Pakistan to Afghanistan, and then they weld them together, and they fix them up, and they drive around with them. Amazing.
How they can sell them for 2,500? That's super cheap.
It's not custom car. They are cutting these cars to pieces, trimming these cars to pieces, and everybody carry a piece of these cars and crossing from the border. So on this side of the border, they are fixing that again. They are welding that again.
No
pieces.
way.
Yeah. In Kandahar, I have seen
And
this.
coming from where?
From Pakistan border,
From the Pakistan border
Yeah.
smuggling.
smuggling.
Super cool.
These pass over. Yeah. There are some others which they can with the whole kit.
Then also on the brake lining, of course the brake lining is all imitation, not original. Even our Corolla, after maybe 100, 150 kilometer, the brakes started to overheat and started to get noisy and really like scraping steel on steel it felt. But according to our fabulous driver, he said, no problem, tomorrow finished the problem. Then we said, what did you do? He said, nothing, cool down. After eating kebab, tikka, murri, and lamb and mutton, we thought it was a good idea and specialty for that restaurant to eat fish. However, they said it is a very special fish. I'm thinking that this fish was, like in English they call it roach, a scaly fish. They were not bad. They were not bad actually. They were nice, deep fried. So you could eat the whole fish, including the head. But I don't think it was the original typical fish, which is so famous. But again, it was a change of menu.
The Minister of Defense. Yes. He looks very beautiful. The movie star.
Now, which is also a very controversial thing, is that to understand the market, to understand your customer, when the Americans were in Afghanistan, 20 years, they wanted to buy some souvenirs. And what the Afghani ladies and people made were war rugs. I think, honestly, we bought a war rug, but it feels painful, and it is something which we should not probably promote. However, the poor guy where we bought the war rugs, he had them already laying there for the last 6 years. So, okay, we helped him, and hopefully never war rugs will be sold again. Now, also, what surprised us was the amount, the real big amount of the tanks on the side of the road, which were actually compressor air tanks. I was thinking, like, how many people will fill up their tires? I mean, in a kilometer, maybe 10 guys waiting there with their air gun to fill your tire? That's weird. Then we found out later that all these guys are standing there to blow out your air filters, to blow out your engine compartment, your radiator, because of the tremendous amount of dust everywhere outside Kabul, where there were rough patches of potholes and sandy roads. We needed to blow out the engine. And this was not the engine compartment. And this was not just like one or two. There were hundreds of them. That was amazing. I mean, I have not seen that anywhere else in the world. And I like compressed air, and I like compressed air business.
Oh. You too, go.
We went also to one of the highest spots in Kabul, and there we had Big Flag. And Big Flag is the new flag of Afghanistan, and with the religious writing on it. It was actually quite impressive, especially when we were there. The call for prayer was there. It sounded all over Kabul. Amazing. A very special experience. Chicken Street was actually, to me, fake imitation street. Not much to find, nothing special. Chicken Street was supposed to be famous for little antiques, little shops with old-fashioned, old-style Afghani equipment. But it felt very, very Chinese fake. Now, obviously we said, where can we find some typical Afghani old, antiques? They said, oh, then you have to go to Kandahar. Kandahar, there you'll find everything. Obviously, that was not in our plan for now. So we have to go back to Kandahar. Then, it's not good to have your camera on all the time. And obviously, when we were walking through Chicken Street, the Taliban observer stopped us. And he was quite tough on us. You should not film, you should not... So... Obviously, we have to film, otherwise we can't make a movie. But we were supposed to take a little bit better care of handling our phone. Anyway, we did that. We explained that we don't have to explain because he could see that we were tourists. But then we showed all the papers and he let us go. But he was watching us and following us. So we behaved. Okay, gun market now. That was interesting. I'm interested in guns, artillery. And this was also very disappointing. A lot of Turkish guns, firearms, but also a lot of air guns. It looked all very impressive. probably for the Afghani people, it's just a cheap solution to have buckshot rifles, guns. And they were very friendly, and everybody said, "Oh, you're not supposed to film. You're not supposed to film." We were taking pictures, we were filming, and the guys had no issues with us, and they were actually very welcoming. What we also saw online was a very special, like a very fat, big, loaded shawarma with French fries in it, with an egg in it, with a sausage in it, with chicken in it, and a sauce, and it's huge. It's called Watani burger. There are quite a few variations of it, but I think we found the most original one. It was really yummy. But then, again, we didn't have to eat for the whole day.
Let's try it. Famous.
Watani burger. Very nice.
Voila.
Heel lekker.
Korea's, Jani?
Delicious.
Delicious.
So when we're driving back from Mazar-e-Sharif, suddenly we get a message. Somebody sent us, Serena Hotel taken over by the Taliban, AP News Network. And that was something, of course, strange, because we never knew and we never heard of it. And then we thought, like, that's not so easy, because Jacob's famous rollerboard, little suitcase, was left behind at the Serena Hotel, and we don't know. Also taken by the Taliban? We did not understand it. We were looking for another hotel, but obviously we had to pick up Jacob's rollerboard, and then we saw no difference. And we still had a reservation for 2 days, and we said, we see nothing changed. No. The lease contract was finished with the old Aga Khan owner, and the Taliban has taken over the lease, the building, and now is leasing it out to a German hospitality company. I was shocked. One sentence in the news was explaining it. Taliban took over Serena Hotel. 2 sentences. Taliban took over Serena Hotel after a 20-year-long lease. So suddenly that has a whole different meaning, isn't it? If you know how we travel, you can also understand that we like to pack our days. Where normal tourists probably will do 2 sites in a day, I think we did 6. And the last one was actually also an amazing site. Beautiful. That was the stupa at Shawaki, about 11 kilometers north of Kabul, and dates back from probably the 3rd or 5th century CE AD. And it was a stop for on the religious route for Buddhist pilgrims. Coming from the Indian lowlands all the way to Bamiyan, and that site was fantastic, and how it was also restored. The site was being partially damaged, but has been completely rebuilt, and the drum of the stupa is about 23 meters across and more than 30 meters high. You cannot imagine, when you see the pictures or the video, you cannot imagine that this is a 30-meter high structure.
We then visited Mr. Mirzaman. He has a 70-year-old box camera and took some pictures of my dad and I. Here's the process of how he takes a picture.
Focus.
Focus.
Correct? And then you have the clip here to adjust exactly the focus. Not forget, what is the focus? Correct?
Focus.
Yeah. Then, here, this one.
İçiş.
To
Acele
check.
say.
Aywa. Correct? Aywa. Correct? Nice.
Oh, yine boyunları şu an tutum.
And then,
İnce bir şey. Ne söyle? Tu boş, tu bir şey. İnce bir şey. Bir saykın değil. Fazmış. Bir saykın.
one second.
Bir, focus. Bir saykın, acele saykın.
Yeah.
Bir, but focus.
Ah, yeah, correct. Exactly.
Boş.
Yeah. Ya malum. Aywa, bezapt.
Say, Didi. Nee, but focus me, sir. Boş ma focus kano. But focus trop. Boş.
Correct. Now, I don't want to talk about life and death, because that's not something we want to highlight. However, we wanted to see the cemetery, and it's actually an interesting place. You will hear about it when I'm discussing this about advertising of the gravedigger. But opposite the cemetery is the Shachi Shah Mardan Shrine, Ziyarat Shachi. It's a shrine and a mosque located in the area of Kabul, about northwest of Kabul, and it is associated with the place to which the cloak of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was brought to on his way to Kandahar. And this was probably what people think with the visit of Prophet Ali, the son-in-law and cousin of Muhammad, peace be upon him. Then later he would serve as a caliph himself. The shrine, which is a beautiful shrine, is located at the foot of the Asamaya Hill, better known now as Television Hill. And it's, as I said, to the north and west of the Shaki Cemetery. A very beautiful shrine. Nice. Now I have a question. This was very beautiful, a visit to the shrine for the Shia.
Yeah.
But now we are looking here, we're looking at the graveyard, correct?
Yeah, cemetery.
And then, who just said hello to you?
The grave digger.
Oh, really?
He said hello to me.
You make good customer connection.
Yeah.
And because he said, one day I'll see you. And what is it? Yeah, sorry?
He's doing advertising.
Yeah, correct, exactly.
This is
And
also
then-
an advertisement
Yeah, correct.
for a grave digger.
MashaAllah, that's unbelievable.
It's been written that they can do tile work, and also various types of
Yeah.
various types of the graves.
Yeah, and if you pay more, you go deeper?
No, it's not.
To end our tour of Kabul city, we visited Baghi Babur, also known as Babur Gardens. This garden was built by the first Mughal emperor Babur. It has since been redeveloped by different rulers as well as the Shah Jahan, who also built the Taj Mahal in Agra. When asked who was buried where, the friendly groundskeeper, who had a slight speaking impairment, tried to act out the best he could. Notably, it was Babur's wife and grandson, as well as other family members.
One second, what's your question?
So how do we know who's in which grave?
Ah,
And that's the grandson.
oh yeah, correct, Bacha. Ada Bacha. Ada. Lady. Yeah, correct.
Thank you, Afghanistan. We had the best time. Better than we ever could have imagined, from the hospitable people to the rich history and culture. We can't wait to come back, potentially looking for Uba else in Herat. Otherwise, we definitely want to explore all the other provinces that Afghanistan has to offer. Take care.
سمع الله لمن حمده الله